Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're watching from today. We have multiple major updates out of Venezuela as I'm recording this on November 21st. The biggest being that a American warship, a Navy warship, intercepted a Russian ship bound for Venezuela and stopped the ship from being able to go to Venezuela. This is a huge escalation in the situation, as well as there has been, the United States has issued an advisory for all of Venezuela's airspace, letting people know it's going to be way too dangerous to be flying planes through there. Read into that as much as you'd like. Plus, we have a few more updates as well, and Trump making some comments about speaking with Maduro. So we're going to break it all down. I'm going to get into all of it step by step of the latest updates. Before we do, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free, huge boost to the channel. Comment with your thoughts below. Let's get active in the comments. Let me know what you think of the warship intercepting a Russian vessel. What do you think about the Venezuela situation as a whole? What do you think about the airspace being cleared? Let me know in the comments below. Go ahead and hit that notifications bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a thing. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me on social media. My DMs are wide open. If you have any tips or information you want me to know, please reach out. Now let's get into it. We all know that the situation with Venezuela could cook off at literally any moment in time. All eyes are locked in on Caracas, the dictatorship of Nicolas Maduro, the Venezuelan military, Venezuelan intelligence. We've got false flag allegations flying around. And while that is happening, we have a ton of resources flooding into the region. I repeat, flooding into the region if and when President Donald Trump orders a military strike. The biggest asset in the region is the Gerald R. Ford aircraft carrier strike group, but we've also got the Ghost ship that is out there. I've told you I will not be revealing the location of the Ghost ship, but information I received and vetted appears to tell me it is in a critical position, but I won't say much more about that unless the U.S. military puts it out there and makes it public, which, has happened before. It's been caught on satellite photos. So we have all these moving parts that clearly are pointing towards we are going to hit Venezuela. One of the things we do not want is for Venezuela to get military aid or anything from Russia, China, Iran. We know secret Russian planes have landed in Venezuela. The Russian government official later said that those planes were carrying weapons, that those planes were there to assist the Maduro regime. So while we can't shoot Russian planes down, although there is a debate to be had about the ones violating NATO airspace, we're not going to shoot Russians' planes down over international waters or landing in Venezuela, but we can stop Russian boats, Russian ships from docking in Venezuela, and that is exactly what the United States Navy did. This information coming out November 21st. This comes from Bloomberg. It says U.S. warship cuts path the Russian tanker headed to Venezuela. A sanctioned Russian oil tanker made a U-turn on the way to Venezuela after a U.S. warship intersected its route near the country's coast, according to the Bloomberg tanking tracker, raising questions about whether Washington could step in to curtail Moscow's energy aid to Caracas. The Russian vessel, the Seahorse, was en route to Venezuela to deliver fuel cargo on November 13th when a USS destroyer, the USS Stockdale, positioned itself in its path. The Russian vessel changed course heading towards Cuba, and the warship sailed near Venezuelan territorial waters towards Puerto Rico. The Seahorse has since approached Venezuela twice, but turned back both times. So we've intercepted this ship 3 different times and remains idling in the Caribbean. So right here, it says the warship's intentions with regard to the Russian vessel are unclear, and a spokesman for the USS Southern Command declined to comment on the ship's movement. The USS Stockdale arrived in the Caribbean in late September, along with a dozen other warships, to support President Donald Trump's declared anti-narcotics operations in the region. The Seahorse, meanwhile, is under sanctions from the UK and the European Union and is one of 4 vessels that delivers diluent called naphtha to sanction Venezuela. I don't even know what that is. Despite, okay, so here we go. It said the tanker had discharged cargo in late October, traveled to Cuba, and was heading back toward Venezuela when the U.S. ship showed up in its path. Its movements since then have been unusual, as Russian fuel vessels typically don't make U-turns or idle on well-trodden trading routes between Cuba and Venezuela. So that right there, you are seeing that we turned back, we intercepted a Russian oil tanker, which is under the control of the Russian government. They are trying to get aid into Maduro. They're trying to get supplies into Maduro. We don't know what else could be on this tanker. There also could be weapons. You never know. The Russians don't exactly like to play by the rules. And the U.S. Navy has intercepted it 3 times to stop it from being able to get to Venezuela. And each time the ship has had to turn around. So that is huge. We are now essentially running a blockade, stopping Russian ships from being able to get to to get to Venezuela with whatever they are carrying. That, my friends, is one of the biggest developments we have had since this situation started. The United States military is directly intervening on the high seas in international waters to stop Russia from being able to get their vessels into Venezuela. That is big news. But it's not the only news we have. So I'm going to put this up on the screen. It says the United States has issued a new NOTAM covering the entirety of Venezuela flight information region. The advisory cites a potentially hazardous security environment due to deteriorating situation and increased military activity in and around Venezuela. So they are warning to exercise caution when operating in around Venezuela at all altitudes due to the worsening security situation and heightened military activity in and or around Venezuela. Threats could pose a potential risk to aircraft at all altitudes, include during overflight, the arrival and departure phase of flight, and or airports and aircraft on the ground. So, and this goes until February, deep into February. They are literally saying to everyone, do not fly in or out of Venezuela. You are at risk of being potentially caught in the crossfire when we bomb Venezuela. This is another massive development. Now, they also did one of these for a region near Puerto Rico where we have a bunch of warplanes. So the U.S. government is saying in no uncertain terms, do not get a plane in the air in Venezuela. It could be in big trouble when this situation goes off. And this is another step you take before you take direct military action. This is another step you take before the bombs start falling. So this in and of itself is absolutely huge. This is another key data point that the Trump administration and President Donald Trump have made up its mind that we will be bombing Venezuela, and we are warning the world and all airlines, do not go anywhere near Venezuela. You do not want to be caught in the crossfire. Again, one more piece of data to analyze and put in the equation. All right, so now I'll throw this up on the screen. While this is happening, while we are warning people to stay clear, while we are warning that the airspace over the entire country of Venezuela is not safe to be flying in right now, Venezuela put multiple military aircraft in the air, flying them around. It looks like one is a fighter jet and the other is a C-130 Hercules, which is, of course, a transport plane, a cargo plane. So we've got a NOTAM issued, and Venezuela is scrambling military planes, a fighter jet, it looks like, and then we know for sure the other is a cargo jet. Again, rapid developments. They're coming at us fast. We have so much to, piece apart here, figure out what is going on. And then we've got this. So Trump said in an interview with Fox News, I believe, that he will be speaking soon with Maduro, and he has something very specific to say. So President Trump literally is saying, you know what, I'll talk to him, but I have one very specific thing I have to say. What do we all think that very specific thing he has to say might be? My guess is it's going to be, hey, you might want to pack your bags and get the hell out of the country because you are going to be declared a terrorist leader on November 24th. And that puts you well within the rules of engagement to get absolutely smoked, to get absolutely destroyed. That's what he is going to say, without a doubt. The table has been set for imminent military action against Venezuela. And I would be stunned at this point if that's not exactly how it plays out. On that note, Maduro yet again claims that the CIA is going to attack oil and electrical facilities throughout the country. Now, we know that he said this repeatedly before, and we know an oil refinery just blew up after a mystery explosion. But we also know that the United States government has made it clear that we No, the Venezuelans are planting a false flag. The government, a congressman publicly got that information out there saying the Venezuelans are without a doubt planning a false flag and they're going to blame it on us. And now Maduro's on TV saying, hey, listen, guys, the CIA is kind of going to blow stuff up in this country. We already had the oil refinery blown up. We don't know who did that. We had the electric transmission transformers that were sabotaged or blown up. The Venezuelans claim that the United States did it. I don't know if the CIA did it. I don't have any proof that the CIA did it. Of course, if the CIA did it, we wouldn't exactly have proof to share. Now, would we? They would do it covertly. Also, very possible the Venezuelans did it. A lot of moving pieces here. Get this off the screen. So, as you can see, anyone who is paying attention can see, this situation is really, really, really close to going cleared hot to engage. We've got our warships intercepting Russian vessels. We are essentially blockading Venezuela from getting aid from Russia. Russian planes can still fly in. We've got the airspace warning has been put out to clear the skies of Venezuela out of fear that the planes of innocent people could be caught in the crosshair. We have Trump saying he will be delivering a very specific message to Maduro soon. And we have Maduro saying that the CIA is going to blow stuff up in the country following two well-documented explosions already, the oil refinery being the biggest one. So that is where we are at. We have a ton more to get through. This situation is rapidly developing. So I am filming this on November 21st. Those are the latest details we know. That is the information we have. And I look forward to keep giving you guys updates as they come in. That is what we have as of November 21st. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. Let's get active in the comments. Whatever you think about Venezuela, the warships, the Russians, let me know in the comments below. I love reading the conversations we're having. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. Cost you guys absolutely nothing at all. Huge boost to the channel. Hit that notifications bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a thing. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can see me on, find me on social media. My DMs are wide open. Reach out with any tips you got. I'll see you all next time.